sun's out again today, and I noticed you can see in the mountains actually a lot of the snow is starting to melt. I guess with that in mind, what's going on today? I guess it's kind of interesting too. With school almost over for a lot of people here anyways, how's this? Having, I guess, school lunches delivered by drones. This one says, council to trial drone deliveries for school lunches. Pupils in some of Scotland's remotest schools could be having their lunches delivered by drone if a new trial is a success. According to this, it would come from an airport as well. It says, flying from Auburn Airport, the trial will involve drones delivering meals prepared in Park Primary School in the town to Locknell Primary, which is also in Auburn and is just 1.5 kilometers away. With Argyll and Bute, which is Scotland's second largest local authority area, having 23 inhabited islands, council leaders Robin Curry said the use of the drones could bring quite staggering opportunities to improve services. And they say here, quote, "We have already seen how drones can deliver essential media supplies to our islands, and now we want to make sure all pupils have access to healthy school meals." And it says here, "We're committed to connecting remote island communities to vital mainland services. The possibilities of using UAVs to improve services to our communities is quite staggering." So obviously by the sounds of it, they have bigger plans where this seems like it's more as a test to see how viable it is for other things. And they do say too, in terms of the drone, because of the one they show in the picture, I don't see how that's going to carry, for example, all this food for a school full of children. So it says here, Alex Brown, head of the drone deliveries at Skyport, said drones had a current capacity of 3 kilograms, which was clearly not sufficient for feeding a classroom of hungry students. Despite this, he said the trial was an important stage in the development of deliveries of this type. The learnings from this early stage of the project will help to pave the way for wider scale operations. If I was a student, I'd be just curious, I guess, to see it in action during these times anyways. But either way, again, it seems like more people want to use drones to deliver stuff. And in general, people are like, it's perfectly fine, right? No more quote, I guess, over the top safety hysteria per se when it comes to stuff like this now. And this was everywhere here today. Apparently, Vancouver is one of the cities that will get the FIFA World Cup. This one says, Vancouver named FIFA World Cup 2026 official host city. FIFA has confirmed that Vancouver has been chosen as the official host city for the FIFA World Cup 2026. This is the first time that FIFA Men's World Cup matches will be played on Canadian soil, and the tournament is watched by billions of people around the world. This is a once-in-a-generation opportunity to support the tourism sector, put the global spotlight in British Columbia, and inspire the next generation of players. Apparently, they're doing this in Ontario as well, and I think they said Alberta actually had a bid as well, but they missed out for whatever reason. I've never been super hardcore into soccer in general, but I guess this would excite a lot of people who are. And from what I read too, they're saying in terms of upgrades and costs, apparently the stadium here is good enough as is, but one of the stipulations was they have to grow natural grass or something like that. And I think in general, it will boost things like tourism and all that. Now, whether or not that will create huge congestions and all that, we'll see. I think an interesting fact too, a lot of this stuff, for example, like the SkyTrains here, they were actually, I guess, built really quickly because of events. For example, there's like a Canada line. It was made because of the Olympics we had here, like in 2010. And this was a little odd, where it wasn't surprising, but in general, Microsoft decided to axe its Internet Explorer. It's just been way too long. And apparently someone created a gravestone, it says for it. This one says, Internet Explorer gravestone goes viral in South Korea. For Jung King Young, a South Korean software engineer, Microsoft Corp's decision to retire its Internet Explorer web browser marked the end of a quarter-century love-hate relationship with the technology. So according to this, the guy spent $330 to create this, I guess, headstone, and it sounds like it's mocking it because it says here, ordering a headstone with Explorer's E logo and the English epitaph saying here, he was a good tool to download other browsers. Because from reading this article, he's expressing when he was making, I guess, websites for clients, they always asked him like, oh, make sure it works for Explorer and all that. Browser compatibility issues. I believe back then, it always came self-installed, for example, when you had Windows and there was some kind of, I don't know, antitrust type of lawsuits and so forth. I don't know, do people still use Microsoft browsers nowadays? Or do people use more like, say, I don't know, Google Chrome or something like that? I know privacy and stuff is a bigger issue nowadays in terms of what people use. Alright, see you guys later.